I've seen so many previously ons now that I'm genuinely starting to feel emotions like rage and anger. And you know how we process emotions over here at TVSins. Blip. I mean, good on the pyramid builders for thinking about the future needs of a tiny god Funko Pop collection in minimalistically appealing oil lamp cubicles. Can't believe we haven't mentioned this already, but opening credits for Moon Knight does not contain a Moon Knight. The Trek drove over the top of the dune this close to Layla and Marc and didn't see them. That's almost as ridiculous as Layla somehow spotting ammunition in the back of the truck as it speeds by at night. But whatever you do, make sure you do not check inside the truck, just around, okay? There's no chance she went in there, so don't even bother. Oh, come on, Marvel. It's not like anyone believes you'd kill off your main character with only a few episodes remaining. A flare is essentially a stick of fire, and fire alone would not be enough to set off this ammunition, especially this quickly. And if the ammunition were this readily flammable, it shouldn't have been left uncovered like this. So, sin either way, suckers!
You guys made a deal that he would just disappear from my life.
Oh, hadn't he disappeared from your life already?
Steven would be f***ing brutal at TVSins, and survives this.
His suit was his best feature, wasn't it?
Judging a mark by its cover. These bullet holes in the windshield do not match the pattern of these bullet holes in the same windshield. This high and mighty goat.
I guess believing anything that comes out your mouth just shows what a plonker I am.
Steven's calling himself a dick for believing Marc while simultaneously being Marc. So now there are two plonkers plonking themselves. And what you don't know is this is now evolved to what the British call a Union Jack. Don't look it up.
I've been in situations like this before. So have I. It's the same body, isn't it? Muscle memory in that.
Steven is expecting to I still know Kung Fu his way through a small army of machine gunning goons after only yesterday objecting to even being part of any of this.
You smell like him.
I'll take things that sound romantic but are actually pretty f***ing creepy for 2 sins, please.
I'm gonna go down.
Okay.
First.
Well, yeah. Great.
Before I belay.
Thank you. What's belay?
I still can't tell when you're joking or not.
As a general rule of thumb, anytime you know that the person you are rock climbing / abseiling with is currently presenting with a personality that you've only just met, I'd err on the side of not kidding, just to avoid any unnecessary confusion or broken limbs and such. Also, what exactly is she belaying when she gets down there? Unless she's planning on immediately climbing back out, the belaying's done. And it certainly isn't for Steven's benefit, as evidenced by his rather abrupt belayless landing. Also, if Layla is lacking this very basic concept, I think it's in Steven's best interest to delay the belay and say, hey, you okay? Before rappelling down and breaking all of the legs. But I'm likely belaboring the point at this stage.
Are you okay?
Amazing.
He fell from a great height, directly down into a tomb. He should not be aces.
If they just sprang to life right now and asked me a riddle for passage, I'd be thrilled. I'd myself, but I'd be thrilled.
Steven continues to be a bloody joy.
To him it was a dream worth dying for. And he did.
Blip.
It's a maze.
It's amazing.
Look, let's leave the wordplay to the self-professed experts, shall we? Toot and cunt Moon Knight.
This whole structure is a symbol.
Fuck you, dude. I'm not buying for a second that he's already been able to piece together an aerial view of the caves just based on walking through them for a few minutes.
There are 6 paths.
6 paths seems important when they began to lay out the whole Horus's eye thing, but the symbol of the eye doesn't have 6 intersecting paths. So when they decide on the tongue path, how do they confidently decipher which of the 6 paths represents the tongue?
So what? You think it's a map?
I mean, to be more accurate, this is a conveniently recalled symbol suddenly drawn on a conveniently reflective table that somehow very quickly became a convenient map.
Hexahedcar.
Sorcerers of their time.
Fortunately for us, Steven's knowledge of Egyptology only stretches to the point where we, the audience, need something explaining.
Right. You go.
Me.
You.
Unnecessarily splitting the party. I guess I've never come across an ominous gaping cavern before, but if I did and I were being chased by an undead murder mummy, would I stop to investigate the depths of the pit with a flare? No. I would shit myself while navigating the fastest route out. Yes, because the first thing you do after realizing the holes in the wall allow dead arms to jut through is to turn your back on the wall with the holes. You know the momentum should have carried her to the bottom of the pit. I know the momentum should have carried her to the bottom of the pit, but someone on the writing team forgot. Also, at some point, these, oh no, they died, fake outs are resolved so quickly you're left wondering, why bother? No one believes she actually fell to her death here, and even if we did, we're only allowed to sit with that suspense for like 8 seconds.
So, you kissed her.
This is what is important to Marc right now. Everyone's in danger, and he's feeling the need to start a pissing contest with himself.
I think we're looking at the long-lost tomb of Alexander the Great.
Oh, huh?
So why don't you just Go ahead.
Good thing both these two came mic'd up so they could hear each other speaking very softly across this not insubstantial distance.
Floor is yours.
The floor may be Harrow's, but the walls are the mummy killer's walls, so stop leaning on it.
Everything inside me is like screaming not to open this thing.
Everything apart from the only actual voice inside him, which is ironically telling him to open it. This symbol of a waiter serving a piping hot plate of 3 flaming hot dogs.
So, what do you think?
I think it's super convenient that Alexander was great enough to line his loot in shiny reflective material that allowed this reflective conversation to continue.
Sir, we'll just find another way.
Harrow and his goons had a huge head start over Stephen and Layla, and yet they still managed to find Amit's tomb last. They should have been able to swarm through this place just through sheer numbers alone. The scare pointed directly down to Amit's tomb, so why would it point to the entrance and not over the actual location of Amit's Ushapti? Seems like there's a nice opening that leads outside right here, so ride that shaft all the way down to the good stuff, man.
I'm talking to you, Marc!
Well, that was easy, for once. But why?
How did he die?
Unless this conversation leads to the revelation that on the night of her father's death, Marc also found a secret exit out of the lost tomb of Alexander the Great, can we please put a pin in it until after they've escaped the angry men with the guns?
Come on!
Bringing a ceremonial axe thing to a gunfight. Oof, we're still bringing your chest to a gunfight. Oh, come on, Marvel. It's not like anyone believes you'd actually kill off your main character with only a few episodes remaining. It's pretty clear from this angle that Marc's falling down a flight of stairs before hitting the water. But then he doesn't.
I can't save anyone who won't save themselves.
But he doesn't care about redemption or second chances. His whole deal is stopping people before they even have a chance to redeem themselves, or before they even realize they have something that requires redemption.
You're Dr. Stephen Grant.
Maybe so, but you've got pluck.
Imagine getting the call from Marvel that your cast is Stephen Grant in Moon Knight, and it's this role instead of what we've been seeing the past 3 episodes.
This is beautiful. Very impressive.
OMG. What is up with the ratio of icing to sponge on this cupcake?
I took the liberty of borrowing the film you brought.
My actual sex tape?
How many times would you say you've seen that movie?
Despite all parental warnings, enough times to make him go blind, apparently. This moment between Harrow and his assistants carries on for us after Marc runs away. If this is all in Marc's head, why would anything outside of Marc's perspective persist? Just in case they never answer this question, I'm going to sit it now and ask for forgiveness later. Whatever bullshit this sarcophagus says that may or may not be important, but I don't have time to crack the code. I'm not sure what the is going on, but this moment clearly represents a person trying to find what makes them whole. I didn't realize how badly I needed these two characters to be in the same physical space, and the relief on Stephen and Marc's faces as they embrace is something I felt in my soul. If I had one, I mean.
How is this possible?
I don't know.
Me either, but someone left their thermos mug and useless lamp here on this shelf. Pointing like this must take too much effort. Stop it. Marc just found Stephen in a sarcophagus, and it was a pretty great reunion. Why would he pass up another one? Is it because the third personality inside isn't crying for help? And no, the third personality isn't a spoiler. There have been several hints so far, and this upright creepy red container is confirming all my suspicions. Anyway, a sin for not opening the obvious reveal when it is obvious.
Hi.
Marc and Stephen do not actually themselves in this scene. Also, Marvel did not release all 6 episodes at once, forcing me to spend far too much time in the deep dark holes of the Egyptian Lady Hippo subreddits. Also, holy shit, after that subreddit dive, Marvel may have actually killed off a character with only a few episodes remaining. I'll give one of the sins back, just in case they have the balls to stick to it.
When Ramses destroyed Syria, that was an accident. You are a catastrophe!
As you wish.
Steven, wake up. Come on.
I strongly suggest that you wake the f*** up.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the drugs began to take hold.
You guys made a deal that he would just disappear from my life.
Oh, hadn't he disappeared from your life already?
Emotional damage.
Are you in love? Now you're in love with my wife?
This is my wife.
Squishy.
I shall call him Squishy, and he shall be mine, and he shall be my Squishy.
I'm a hippopotamus. I like swimming, but I'm dangerous.
Hi.
You think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?